Shut up and sit down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 5th edition of the Con and Bob podcast. We're back here once again. I'm excited here to be back with my good old pal, Bob. How you doing, Robert?
Robert. I'm well, Conrad. I'm well, buddy. It's not the first, not the second, not the third, not the fourth, but the 5th edition of the Con and Bob podcast.
We're the 5-time podcast champs, you know?
5-time.
Yeah.
5-time pods.
Like, before we get into this action, though, let me tell you guys a little something here. His name's Brandon, so all of you guys know that. I have no idea how we got onto Bob. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. I don't know how we got onto it.
I think it was just when my first show, the Royal Rumble 2016, would it have been?
Yeah,
no,
26. Was it 20? No, it would have been 2017. Yeah, 2017.
No.
I didn't do stuff in 2016, I'm pretty sure.
No?
No,
maybe this is 2017.
Yeah, I think 17 was your first show on the channel.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm doing math wrong.
We're getting too old. We're getting too old. We're losing track of the years.
You introduced me as Brandon, and then just like some of the viewers were like, who's Bob here?
Yeah, apparently you looked like a Bob.
Or that's what I think, and then it just stuck, and I'm just like, well, I guess I'm Bob now. So I went home the next day and told my parents. I told them, I was like, I want to be referred to as Bob from now on.
Well, I mean, do they at least call you Bob?
Like, they more proper, more Robert.
More Robert? Okay. All right. Well, let's get Robert and Con here talking about some wrestling this week. Dude, we were just saying, though, just like a few minutes ago, we were saying how this week was, well, it wasn't bad. Nothing was standout, right?
Yeah, it was a weird week. Like, it was a fun week.
Yes, fun.
Like, I enjoyed both episodes of Monday and Tuesday, but there wasn't anything that was like, oh, that was amazing. It was just like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, like obviously the formation of like the new pack, as I guess they're calling themselves,
quote unquote, the pack.
And also, you know, the whole Miz and Daniel Bryan taking another step forward with the addition of Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega into the feud. It was certainly a good week. Nothing horribly wrong, really, when you look at the shows, but there was also nothing that was probably going to make you come back and watch the show, other than maybe the Shield coming back at the end of Monday Night Raw or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to come back for a moment. You're not necessarily going to come back to watch any of the matches from this week.
No, not necessarily, unless you're looking for, like, to find out, like, the tag team thing for the tournament, like that. You'd be like, oh, I guess I'll watch both the triple threat tag matches to find out how they got to this point. But that's about it. Yep,
but we'll give you guys our entire thoughts for the show as we start to, as we say, break it down in the universe over here. Good old D-Generation X. But here we go, man. You want to start us off with the opening segment of Monday Night Raw?
Yes, so Monday Night Raw opened. I enjoyed the opening segment. Opens up, it's Braun, Drew, and Ziggs come out. You know, they start talking some trash, and they're just going on and on and on about it. And I liked their kind of feel to them. Right?
I was gonna say,
I liked how each of them got a moment on the mic. I liked like those types of things where it was like they aren't a group led by one person. They're like a group. They're a team, a unit, right? Kind of like the Shield.
Exactly. So that was really good with them. And just the fact, like you said, they each got an opportunity to speak. It wasn't like one of them faded into the background. I honestly think that Dolph Ziggler almost sounded like he was the mastermind of the group, that he was the one that formed it almost.
It's eerie how like it kind of seems like he is that little architect, if you will.
Yeah.
Of that group, right?
Like he's
almost the Seth Rollins of that group, the architect, right? And then you've got the muscle and like intelligence in both the other guys as well. Kind of very much like the Shield. It's weird. But I'm enjoying what's happening with this.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you could just, like, enlarge the Shield, like, say you grew Dean Ambrose into becoming, what's his name, the Scottish guy. Why am I blanking on his name? Drew McIntyre. There we go, Drew McIntyre. Like, you could grow Dean Ambrose into that, and then Roman Reigns would grow into Braun Strowman. It's very reasonable to think that Dolph Ziggler is kind of like the Seth Rollins of this group.
Yeah, but that was only the start of the segment.
It was the start of the segment.
After was the Shield's music hits. They come down through the crowd, and it's just like, this reminded me of just good old fashioned Monday Night Raw, because it was just like a brawl between two different groups or two different people like they used to do. And like everybody from the back came out, like every single superstar to try and every male superstar came out to pull them apart, right? And it was I enjoyed it. There was Corbin there waving everyone out, like, go.
I was going to say, I like that Corbin little part there where he is the general manager, right? And so he is in charge of the whole show. He's in charge of keeping the peace of the show. And ever since he's taken over, the show has lost all control. There has been chaos everywhere. Three of his top stars got arrested. You know what I mean? Like, he's losing control of the show, but it's because he's putting the heels over the faces every single time. And I love that about his character.
And like you just mentioned there, three of their top stars got arrested. The Shield obviously got arrested, and that's what that segment led to. Everybody, they finally got pulled apart. They got into the back, and then we're getting handcuffed. Super corny, super old school WWE.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I saw stuff online of people being like, "Oh, that's so cheesy. That's so bad." And I'm like, "What? That's literally."
I was gonna say that's Stone Cold. Yeah, that's like a Stone Cold attacking Vince McMahon sort of thing. Like, they did that a lot in the old day. I'm pretty sure like it's been done many times where superstars have been quote unquote arrested. Like it happens all the time.
I read something that was like, oh, they were taken in by authorities with no just cause type thing. And I'm like, yeah, except like the thing that, like, be a fan, right?
Be a fan.
But also like the thing that you don't think about is like, technically Corbin could have just been like, take these, like, I'm calling the cops on these guys because they incited this quote unquote riot that they called it, right? And everything. And they're like, just like take them away, because that's kind of what the heel general manager does.
It's exactly what a heel general manager does.
Throw the face in the back of the cruiser and get them arrested, essentially. Even though as cheesy and corny as it is, it's what it is, right?
And also
what it
does as well is it creates an overarching storyline for the entire night. And when you have those storylines, we saw it on Raw, we saw it on SmackDown, throughout the entire night, it makes the show a little more enjoyable when you can come back to the storyline that opened the show, right? It makes the show feel more of a complete show, like you're getting a storyline on that day. You don't have to wait till next week to get the conclusion of a storyline. You get one on the same night, and I never understand why fans would be mad about that.
Yeah, exactly. And Mike Romero was giving updates all throughout the night,
which I love that. I liked that.
I liked that a lot. And our commentary team with Renee Young this week there was kept throwing to that and being like, Mike Romero has updated us. This is what he's saying. So I liked that. It was just little stuff that kept the storyline going through the night, like you said, which is nice. No, it was a great segment. I enjoyed it a lot off the top. And then we moved on to not a great segment for me.
So here's the thing with this. The segment we're in question here is the Bella Twins versus the Riot Squad's Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. It's not that the return of the Bellas is not welcome. And I don't think that, at least for me, I can't speak for you, but for me, the return of the Bellas, it's not like it's unwelcomed. It was to return them and then to overexpose their weaknesses. Like, why are you having 2 suicide dives attempts in one match by Brie Bella? Like, no. Before you keep laughing, this is a serious matter here, man. This is serious, bud. Like she could.
There's a reason they call it a suicide dive.
She could have hurt somebody. She could have legitimately hurt herself. And here's the thing: before I get all like, I've been mad before this in the past week. It's the fact that her in-ring ability is not necessarily on par with everybody else in the women's division. So I understand.
Neither of them Like,
no, like Nikki Bella is it's much further though. Nikki's much further.
You're not telling James Ellsworth, 100% sure, but you're not telling James Ellsworth to go out there. Not that I'm saying Brie Bella is the same level as James Ellsworth, but I'm saying you're not telling someone who hasn't wrestled in who knows how long period.
Yep.
And
Royal Rumble.
On top of that, Royal Rumble, and that doesn't even really count because it's just
she even botched in there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're not telling someone like that who already isn't a strong wrestler to start. Probably in the bottom half of her division for sure, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
but
nope, that's very fair.
Especially this current division. And you're not telling them to go out there and be like, okay, now just go do some of the most dangerous moves. Like, you can see it because I'll talk about it again on SmackDown, but even Daniel Bryan attempted a suicide dive and almost botched it. And Daniel Bryan is one of the best wrestlers in the world. And he almost botched it. And I'm like, that's it's a scary move.
It's a very scary move. You are leaping. Well, here's the problem. Like, she didn't hit it full speed, and that's where she was immediately doomed as soon as she did that. If you try to walk into a suicide dive, you're not going to make it anywhere. Your feet are going to catch those ropes, right? And that's where you're getting in trouble. The one that we're talking
about, obviously, is the second one. The first one was a timing thing with Sarah Logan.
Yeah, her timing was off there. It was a combination of the two.
It was a combination of both, but then Brie just kind of like hit the middle with her gut and like fell and rolled out like type thing. I was like, what?
To be fair, on Sarah Logan's defense there, though, if I saw somebody walking up slowly towards me, I would not be expecting them to hit a suicide dive.
Yeah, I know.
Let's put it that way.
Like 2 bad botches. I wasn't big on it. Bella's pick up the win, which is fine. Like, they want to hype the Bellas, whatever. You know what?
The win went to the right people there.
Nikki looked good. Yeah. Nikki looked pretty good, but they also didn't have Nikki do 2 suicide dive attempts. Like,
they did. They know what Nikki's ability is in the ring, and unfortunately for Brie Bella, what she falls into is being married to Daniel Bryan and gonna try too much, because of course Daniel Bryan's gonna try to teach her these things, and of course he's gonna try to make her a better wrestler. But you know, when you haven't been in the ring, like we think since Royal Rumble, you know, you can't be attempting suicide dives. You're going to get yourself hurt. You're going to hurt somebody else. And it's not a good look on TV for your supposed top stars to not be able to do moves, not be able to put on a competent match sometimes. She
looked good otherwise, I think. Like, not terrible. She looked all right.
Yeah, like I said,
those 2 big botches.
The competent match comes from the Bellas being put in a position where they are best as heels, you know, where they can work down the baby face and then be all annoying with their voices because they are so monotone that anybody who listens to them does not want to cheer on the Bellas. Unfortunately, they're put in a babyface role where their in-ring storytelling ability isn't there to sell as a babyface. Yeah,
people want to cheer on the Bellas now because of Daniel Bryan and John Cena at this point, right?
Exactly.
And now they're kind of stuck in this babyface role where it's like, okay, well, we'll see where that goes. The next segment, what'd you think of it? Bobby Roode, Chad Gable.
Yes. Oh my God, they're doing something with Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Like,
I'm happy.
I don't even care about the match. The match was whatever, right? The match was fine for what it was, a showcase of Bobby Roode versus Chad Gable, but man, the
Bobby
fact
Roode and Chad Gable, rather.
You know, that combination. It's been a long day. But yeah, like seriously, this combination, I think has potential. I'm a big fan of when they put 2 single stars together as a tag team, at least for single stars who aren't doing anything, and at least try to run with it. And if it fails, you know, have them break up and you can get a pre-show pay-per-view match out of it or something like that, right? Just even if it's only a month or 2 months long and you're like, okay, we're done with this tag team now, we got something to do with this other person, well, let's move into that direction, right?
And it can lead into a Bobby Roode heel turn. Which we all know that Bobby Roode's much better as a heel. Chad Gable got to show off what Chad Gable does, and honestly, he was he's an awesome dude to watch in that ring.
Well, he said it best there, that he is a tag team specialist, right? Yeah. Like, he's really good at tag team wrestling, and Bobby Roode...
even as a solo dude, like, just like watching what his strength is for how small he is and the things that he can do, I love it.
Oh no, I do too. I'm just meaning
I'm
that
big
like
on it.
yeah, I like the storyline. It makes sense. He's looking back at his own career and saying, okay, well, when I've been in a tag team, with the American Alpha and Shelton Benjamin, I've been at least modestly successful, right? They became SmackDown tag team champions. So it makes sense that, he'd be looking for another tag team partner. And Bobby Roode honestly makes a lot of sense. I was thinking he might go in the direction of a heel turn, or he might go in the direction of moving up the card even further if they could get the fans' support behind him. But this is a good direction for now. One of them,
it gives them all something to do. Ascension even looked pretty good in the ring. I like that all those guys got some time this week, and I'm excited to see where this goes.
I'm also going to say this about Ascension. Like, I think I said this last week as well, that Ascension would be really good in a stable. They'd be very good in a stable
where they don't talk before their match and called someone
and lose
a sawed off duck butt.
Oh, the duck butt comment. I mean, kudos to the Ascension for at least trying to make a joke out of themselves, right? To at least get some sort of traction if they can turn themselves into a comedy tag team. They tried that with Breezango. It's
weird that they're
weird.
calling them it's weird that they're being heels and trying to be a comedy team, right?
It doesn't work. It doesn't work as heels as a comedy tag team, or at least it very rarely works.
No, and it's like a very specific type of heel.
Yep.
But I enjoyed the segment as a whole. Like, I enjoyed what we got out of it, and then we got a great segment after.
This was awesome.
Elias just week after week just kills it, and he's just so hyped, and he's like, he literally has the crowd on a string every single week. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, there's very few people in the business who can come out to the center of that ring as basically a babyface and leave as a heel every single time. It's crazy.
Exactly. And then we got Alexa Bliss coming out. We're in Columbus, her hometown, and she comes out and gets a massive pop, gets a huge shout out from the audience, and she's just being Alexa Bliss at her finest, being like the fan favorite out of nowhere, and being like, I'm from here, this is my hometown. And then she's like,
she graduated in that building, all that stuff.
All this stuff. And Elias is like, what the hell's going on? And then all of a sudden just, I couldn't get out of here quick enough.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love her.
Because we all know that.
This is why I'm in love with her.
We all know that feeling, right? Of wanting to get out of your hometown, right? Yeah. It's like, I want to get out of here. Well, apparently she wanted to as well. It made perfect sense, especially for a heel.
Starts ripping on the crowd and the zombies. Hi, zombies. I think I recognize a couple of you. Obviously, you haven't left here. Like, stuff like that. And then this weird little, Alexa tension thing.
I was gonna say Alexa was straight up flirting with Elias.
Yeah,
straight up
flirtatious stuff, and I was like, okay, I don't know what this is, but okay. Like, they're two of my favorite acts in WWE right now. I always like it when my favorite acts get like combined, whether it's a tag team, whether it's a stable, whether it's a manager, or whether it's a like storyline relationship, anything like that. I'm like, cool. I can get behind this.
I'm willing to give it a chance. Yep, but that turned into a match between Alexa Bliss and Natalya. What do you think of that one?
It was solid. Yep. Alexa picked up the win, which was the right thing.
It was the right thing. As much as I like Natalya, she's been built up as like the sidekick of Ronda, and after Alexa loses her championship to Ronda, she has to beat Natalya. Otherwise,
she still has to look threatening.
I was going to say, otherwise, there's no chance of her ever capturing back that women's championship from Ronda.
I liked after the match the aspect of her attacking Ronda and actually beating up on Ronda a little bit. And Ronda still looked tough. Like, she didn't look like she got her like ass handed to her, but she still looked tough. Obviously, I didn't understand why Mickey didn't get involved at all. But whatever. Maybe she's still nursing her.
That's what I thought, because there was did three of them come out? Did Alicia Fox come out with
three of them?
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so that makes sense if they're still keeping Fox with Bliss. Because Fox was just simply the person who came in to replace Mickie James when she got hurt, right?
Yep. Side note about Mickie, Was this true? Mickey versus Lita announced?
I heard something like that. I didn't see it on WWE TV, but I heard through the rumor mill that's what that was.
If that happens, I'm really excited for Evolution for that.
Well, dude, I'm excited for Evolution to begin with. Like, Evolution's going to be awesome.
It could be like a start for something for Mickey moving forward, just like one last run after a big match. Even if we take out booking
aspects, if we just look at it as a straight one-on-one match, I'm excited to see it. I don't even care about booking aspects after who wins, who loses. Like, you can give the win to Lita for all I care. Sure, people are gonna complain about whatever on that show, but it's gonna be enjoyable. I'm excited. It's gonna be. At least here's what I picture going into the Evolution. It's gonna be somewhat of a gimmicky show. Being an all-women's pay-per-view, of course they're gonna build up that fact. Like, it's a massive deal, no doubt about it. But gimmicky in the sense that, it's a bunch of part-timers coming back to wrestle, and the booking decisions, it might not be considered a very canon WWE show, I could see them giving Trish Stratus the win over Alexa Bliss. Is that the right decision booking wise? No. Is it good for the pop and good for like publicity and all that? Absolutely. So you know what I mean with that?
Unless Trish is coming back for a unless one of those legends are coming back for a Goldberg-esque thing, then fine. But that's like, from a booking standpoint, that's fine. But if they're just going to give them it's fine. I don't think, like you said, it's not going to have a massive. I think some storyline will. Like,
some storylines for sure.
Charlotte, yep. Like Becky Charlotte will likely be a thing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a show that does produce some canon storylines, right? Like that sticks to like the actual direction WWE is heading in, whatever it might be. But there's also going to be those matches of Mickie James versus Lita and Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss and. Who is it? Iconics versus Naomi and Asuka. That's gonna stick storyline. So like, there's things like that, right?
Also, I really liked that Alexa won with the armbar.
Yeah,
just like the little things is just good.
So good. Let's talk a little bit about the tag team title match that happened. So before that,
the segment.
Yeah, you go ahead. You get this one.
This one was crazy because I loved this segment. I loved that Corbin is just not being respected by his peers, like at all. I love that they're like, you're the general manager. And like Finn early in the night at one point, like, I want a match and like blah, blah, blah. And then the Pack here being like, you make the matches. Sure. But make the right matches, essentially saying like, this is our show. We control you now because you're terrified of us. And like, even just the little, the Revival versus B team's already a thing. Yeah. What if the Revival couldn't participate? Like, what if they couldn't?
I love that. And thinking logically like that shows that this team is going to be very smart. Right? Yeah. Like, you can almost feel the fact that Dolph Ziggler being a part of this group has almost controlled these two psychopaths that he's got with him, right? Oh, yeah. He's like the calming voice on their shoulder telling them which direction we should move. How are we going to make our mark here tonight? Oh, well, there's a tag team title match. Guess what? We're going to take out the number one contenders and we're going to put ourselves in that match. Like, it's smart. Very smart.
I also love it because it builds in a rivalry that we actually would want to see Revival versus.
Oh yeah. Man.
The Pack here.
Oh, well, instantly the Raw tag team title division has been greatly improved. This is the team that I wanted to see capture the tag team titles that I thought was going to be the team to take the titles off Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
You've got it with the Shield as well. Like, you can see it with like Ambrose and Rollins, and you've got just these built-in rivalries for the tag titles now. And now this division is important, right?
Yes.
And not that the B team didn't do what they were meant to do. They did it well for a little bit.
They're a great transition champion.
It didn't give us anything to be like, oh, I can't wait to see the B team versus the Revival for the 400th time.
Nope. Exactly.
Now we're like, I legitimately can't wait for the Pack versus Shield or the Pack versus Revival or whomever, right? Gable and Rude now and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm excited about this division moving forward.
Me too, man.
So
Me
they
too.
did the right thing. They did the right thing. B Team lost it. And I liked that it wasn't Revival yet. Like, it's now it makes sense why the Revival hadn't won it. Right?
Yeah, it does make sense. Obviously they're delaying the Revival. It's weird that it's happening to a baby, or like not a babyface duo, like a heel duo, and it's not a babyface duo. So it makes me wonder if they're gonna maybe try to turn the Revival face, like, because they've been screwed over, right? Like what happened to them was
they're more face than the Pack.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, like it very well could be the start of a slow face turn for the Revival. I mean, people are 100% going to want to root for them. The Revival is amazing. And once we get some good matches, like Revival stock is just going to shoot right up.
Yeah. Another team that we didn't mention is AOP. That would be a great matchup because AOP is these big, like, strong dudes that can do some wicked stuff in the ring, and they move quick at times, right? Yeah. And then you've got
Revival and AOP had great matches in NXT.
Exactly. And now you've also can utilize the amazing talent that Dolph Ziggler is in the ring, as well as the strength and agility that Drew McIntyre brings. So now, like, again, AOP, another one, and that was the next segment. AOP and a new manager, no more Paul Ellering, but a little Drake Maverick. Which, how do you feel about this? I want to know your opinion before I say
this is the perfect pairing, and I'm going to tell you why. Drake Maverick is so talented. Like, have you got to see much of his work at all?
Not much, but I've seen a little bit, and I really like what I have seen.
Yeah, like his mic work is phenomenal. He sounds like a legitimate guy who knows what he's talking about. You know, he's one of those managers, when you put him on the microphone, he can sell the team to you. He's very good at selling matches. That's why he was put in the general manager role. So I can really think that this combination of him with AOP is gonna work. It's a weird dynamic seeing him in that.
That's the one thing I was going to say.
But here's why. I
don't want him to wear that. I don't want him to wear that.
I don't want him to wear it in the future either. But here's the reason why I can see.
The very first one.
Yeah, the very first one, I can understand why they wanted to do it. WWE is so smart with thinking of coming up memes, thinking of coming up with social media talking points, you know, a reason to look forward to the next show. Like, oh, Drake Maverick's coming out. Is he going to be in this weird uniform, or is he going to be in a black suit, right?
Exactly.
It creates intrigue around the character right away.
Ooh, just like a sleek all black suit, black undershirt, black 100%. Tie, just a clean black with AOP will look fresh.
It will.
Like maybe like a camo, like black and camo type jacket type, something like dope like that.
Because he is known for his great suits on 205 Live.
Oh, like, God, I'm so excited.
He really is. So I think we're going to see that.
Just for the aspect of seeing Drake Maverick on a week-to-week basis and seeing the suits that he brings, I'm really excited.
Well, yeah, and like I hope that they go back to the suits, because that was just one little thing of his character in 205 Live, and still is, that, you know, is pretty impressive. One thing I'll say here, though, is that I laughed so hard on 205 Live. Mustafa Ali came in and talked to Drake Maverick, who was in just a normal suit, and was like, I was slightly hoping that you were going to be in your AOP gear. And I'm like really? that's a great little transition. I like that. And Drake Maverick got pissed off. Like, basically told him to watch himself, you know, like, just watch your words. I'm still the general manager.
I like Mustafa Ali, man. That dude's got a future.
He does, big time. But anyways, yeah, Akam and Razar pick up the win there over the couple of jobbers. Yep. Yeah, but the big talking point is that manager right there, Drake Maverick.
Yeah. Next segment, we had the HBK come out, chat. I think his hair's cut.
It is.
I think his hair's short. Yeah, he left his hat on the whole time, but it looked like it was real short.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just weird to see HBK like that.
It's like when Taker went bald. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of Taker, Taker came out.
Yes.
What was your opinion on this segment?
Oh, man, dude, it's awesome. It's great seeing legends come back. I liked how it was kind of fun and lighthearted beforehand with Shawn Michaels. And then when Taker's music hit, it just felt like it turned another gear. it was not expected. I was not expecting to see Undertaker. He wasn't announced for this show, right? So it's always a great pop when you hear that gong happen. And just the fact that he's back and calling out Shawn Michaels, I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited. I don't know if it's going to turn into a match, but if Shawn's ever going to come out of retirement, it's going to be against The Undertaker.
That'll be a good match if that happens. Like for the nostalgia.
For the nostalgia, yeah. It's not going to be anywhere near the WrestleMania 25 or 26 matches. So, like, we need to make sure we go into it expecting more of Triple H versus Sting than Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker from WrestleMania 25, right?
So, like, this segment for me was super nostalgic, super hyped. Like, I got excited and I got more and more excited because now I'm just thinking that Shawn is going to come out at Super Showdown and do something.
I was going to say, let me jump in right here.
Maybe he's going to be the ref, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago. Go ahead.
But like, if Shawn Michaels is coming down there to Australia, he's flying all the way to Australia for a reason, right? Like, I don't think it is any coincidence that he shows up on Monday Night Raw, starts talking about the fact that if he were to come out of retirement, it would be against Undertaker. And I wonder if some way they have Shawn Michaels cost Taker the match against Triple H, and Shawn Michaels and Undertaker is set up for WrestleMania. If that is how they set it up, I'm all in. All in.
Yeah.
no pun.
No pun intended.
No pun.
Yeah. Let's try and wrap up Raw quick in a couple minutes. Next couple minutes here. But yeah, that segment got me super hyped up. I liked it. It was not amazing, but it was fine.
Yep, fine.
It was good. Yeah.
It was fine. You know what, though?
It got me hyped and nostalgic. So
like, I was going to say, the nostalgia made the segment feel a lot bigger than it actually was. But, like, you know, the potential of Shawn Michaels returning is always going to be exciting. But you know who is not going to be returning to a certain group? Dana Brooke.
Well, maybe.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. I was trying to do a cool segue.
Transition. Good,
thanks.
Good segue.
Thanks.
Weird. Boston Hug versus Dana and Ember. Weird that Ember is now facing Boston. Hug was I didn't just pairing with them a couple weeks ago.
It made no sense right there.
Whatever. It's a match, right? You go out there and there was no real heels in this match. Like, it felt like Boston Hug won again, which like just makes sense. Dana was frustrated with Apollo and Titus. What? And came out and said, "I'm done with you. Like, I'm done. I'm done with this," and walked off. It's gone from intriguing me and being like, "Oh, where's this going?" to now be like, "Okay, tell me where this is going." Like, now I'm not like intrigued. Ooh, now I'm like, you guys need to tell me soon.
I'm so glad you're starting to fall. You're finally starting to fall off this storyline. This storyline really has not captured me at all. Like we were saying, you know, it's a good Raw week-to-week storyline, but for me, anything involving Titus O'Neil, I just have such a tough time watching.
Rude.
And not to be rude, not towards the man whatsoever, but like, it's personally like he's my biggest heel in the WWE. I don't want to see him on my screen, right? And I don't mean that in like an absolute crazy rude way, but Titus O'Neil, for me, he's just not a character that I'm intrigued at all by.
So from that weird segment and just bad thing to
one sec. Banks and Bailey pick up the win in that match. Yeah.
Yeah, so I said Boston
did you?
Hug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said Boston Hug win, which makes sense. Lashley. I'm loving Lashley's character, how he's kind of like, he's got this little anger issue. Like, I actually really enjoy it. It's just like, he's angry but he's trying to keep a smile.
My man.
Little thing. My man. Smacks him harder and harder on the shoulder. My man. Because he's a big, tough dude that, like, if he was beside me trying to be nice and be like, my man, and smacking me on the shoulder, I would be sitting here literally crapping my pants and being like, this dude's about to rip my head off.
Yep.
Because of something. I don't know what I did, but he's about to rip my head off. So he was told by Corbin, I guess, that he has to go out to the ring for an in-ring meditation with Jinder Mahal.
Shanti.
And I like how he smacked whichever Singh was there. Samir? Is it Samir? Sunil. And Sunil jumps up and like looks at him and he's like, sit down, man. Like, let's do this. All right.
You need water.
Like water. So it was a good segment. I had a lot of fun. And then
But Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens
Kevin
came
Owens.
back, which is awesome. Like, I love seeing Kevin Owens on TV, but I was confused because it was a week ago that he quit, and this doesn't make any sense to me.
So, do you want to hear my theory here? Theory here? We're going to touch a little bit on this the last segment of the night as well with this theory, but Kevin Owens quitting last week. I think Kevin Owens came to immediately regret that decision, right? He obviously is back in WWE within a week later, immediately regrets it, but guess who's the general manager of Raw? His buddy, Baron Corbin. So, my thought process here is, why would Kevin Owens be saving Braun Strowman from the attack of the Shield unless he owed Baron Corbin one?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if he owed him one, you know, like if that's how he got his job back, Baron Corbin, you get your job back, like, or at least Kevin Owens gets his job back. But here's the thing: I need some help with the Shield. You be the first one out there to attack the Shield.
Yeah, which was the last segment. So yes. KO comes out, attacks Bobby Lashley, hits him with a pop-up powerbomb or apron powerbomb, whatever you want to call it, a super kick. Stuff like that. Possibly a rivalry with Lashley. I don't know. Or I honestly hope it's not. I hope that it's just KO's new character is just like furious and angry and just like destroying anyone in his path. And showing just like aggression towards everyone, which I hope that's what it is. If
that's what it is, cool. I can totally also see it turning into a tag team match of Jinder Mahal and Kevin Owens versus Bobby Lashley and a partner. Whoever that partner may be, I can also see it turning into that match. I'm not sure where they go with Kevin Owens, like what their plan is, why they had him come back after a week of being away. I thought the intrigue was there. I thought, I think this is kind of a wasted opportunity, to be 100% honest. Like the intrigue was certainly there. He was a main talking point from Raw last week, and he returns a week later. Like, you know, anytime we see Kevin Owens on our screen, it's good stuff. It's obviously better to have him around than it is to have him not around. It's just unfortunate when I think how crowded the main event scene is now with Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and The Shield. And them having all the titles, I don't know where Kevin Owens goes. Like, maybe a feud with Seth Rollins for the IC title, how he somehow slithers in there, but I don't know how he does that. Yeah. Speaking of main event scene, and speaking of Braun Strowman, and someone that's kind of on the cusp of being in the main event scene, being Finn Balor, that's the final match of the night, because Finn asked Corbin for a match, and Corbin's like, I'm too busy, but you do have a match against Braun now. So it was a good, fun match. It was very, very short. Like, well, not very, very short. It was very fun, but far too short for Finn Balor, especially the fact that Finn continues to impress in the ring. Oh, absolutely. I was just about to say that. Finn Balor has looked good in the ring every single time he's getting in there. I wish they would have played up the fact that these guys had teamed together, you know, for a few weeks in a row. It was a weird, but whatever. Yeah. Like, I get it. Braun Strowman turning heel out of nowhere. Obviously, he's going to have to go up against, like, the faces in the WWE. Yeah. So it makes sense that he'd run into Finn Balor, a guy who's on the upper main event kind of level, just on the cusp of breaking into the main event, like you said. So it makes sense. Braun picks up the win here. Obviously doesn't take anything away from Finn, though, because when it's little Finn against big Braun, it's not expected. Like, if Finn won, that's huge. Yeah. So to lose in the fashion that he did too, where he put up a fight and actually did some damage to Braun at times, it was he didn't lose anything, lose any momentum, and he looked good. Here's the thing. One sec before we jump into that, though, like with Finn Balor or anybody who goes up against Braun Strowman, I don't think it's a bad thing when a smaller character gets tossed around by Braun. Right? Yeah. Like, the thing is, there's weight classes in real life for a reason, so that you don't have that matchup happen, because it's not fair, right? So Braun Strowman, of course, should beat Finn Balor. The dude's twice his size. That's what I mean. It literally makes sense to me. It's just science. Yeah, exactly. But yeah. And then, you want to take it? Nope, you got it. Been doing a great job, man. Shield comes out, and just then everything happened again. Everything again. All the heels, though.
Whole heel locker room, which was weird. Like, where were the faces?
Yeah.
Where were the faces?
I really hope we're going to get some sort of plot hole fixer next week with why the faces weren't coming out. Maybe there's something in the back locker room. Maybe the faces are just as tired with the Shield. Maybe the faces want to beat up the Shield as well.
Maybe it's, I was thinking that maybe it's like oh no, we're not going to come out and help the Shield, right? Like, why would we do that? But it was weird. Like, it was nice though. A lot actually coming out, beating up on all of them, with KO, led by KO, like you mentioned, and a bunch of the other heels. Pretty much the entire heel locker room, coming out and just beating down on the Shield. And each of them took a massive move from one of the members of the pack,
which is the way it should be. Yep.
Yeah, and Claymore and the power slam and everything. So, and like getting thrown into the truck that they brought up there and stomped, and Dean Ambrose getting like beat up right in front of
the
Renee.
Blood pouring down the arm of Seth Rollins. Like, that was a nice little touch to it. Like,
so just like again, fun old school feeling segment.
Yeah. Nope. Great way to close out Monday Night Raw.
Raw.
Once again, very fun Raw. Overall, nothing really too bad, right? Like, it was.
Yeah.
I think that's the theme with this week, is it was just nothing terrible, right? Nothing
stood out.
Yeah.
But nothing was like terrible, right? Like, it was like, it was good. And like the segments were fun, right? Very segment heavy week. This was very segment heavy week. It was a lot of matches.
It was definitely meant to build up some upcoming pay-per-views, with WWE having 3 pay-per-views within like the span of like, I think, a month and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, of course they're gonna have trouble building up to all of them, so it's a little confusing with what builds to what right now. But
exactly,
it's been fun, at least, and that's all we can expect when we watch WWE, right? It's free TV. We should be having fun. Yeah.
And then we move over to SmackDown Live now.
This was the Daniel Bryan and Miz show.
Right. So this was another show that had a full program, like storyline.
Yeah, overarching storyline for the entire night.
Yeah, overarching. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Opens up with Renee Young introducing Daniel Bryan and Brie.
Oh, speaking of Renee Young, back on commentary. We missed that part on Raw.
No, I said that.
Did you? Well, man, dude, I'm just not listening to you, apparently.
Renee. And then that's why I said Renee, or Dean getting beat up right in front of Renee.
Yep, absolutely. You're right there. Conman just doesn't listen to Bob. That's just...
That's all right. And they say that I'm the heel.
Yeah, no, I'm the heel for sure.
Daniel Bryan gives me some chills when he talks sometimes. Like, he gets me so hyped up about certain things, and I'm like, oh man, this is great. Like, when he was trying to challenge for the match tonight, like, you're not waiting till Hell in a Cell. Like, you're going to get it right here in Ohio or where.
Brings out the general manager in him, right? Because he used to be the promoter for the brand.
Just gave me this little chill that I was like, ooh, Daniel, damn.
Yeah,
but
damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel. What are those? So he didn't get the Miz and Maurice. They had already left the building, and instead he got Andrade Cien Almas.
Yes, which once again, please, just more of this. Yeah. I want more.
The match itself, it was just Andrade versus Daniel. We didn't get a mixed tag, which I thought was weird. Like, I thought maybe we were going to get a mixed tag of Daniel and Brie versus... Considering
we just saw this last week as well. Yes, I agree. That would have been the rightful call.
It was fine. The match itself felt... I don't think it was as good as
this one was kind of a disappointment compared to what we had last week. I think it was a step back, but it was still good. Yes,
I think that these two guys have a lot of potential to have great chemistry in the ring. There were a couple moments that were just timing issues and things like that. Obviously, like I said, Daniel almost botched a suicide dive, which is a remarkably dangerous move, but he still got enough of it. So it was a good match. Both guys individually are so good, so you can't have a terrible match when you take amazing guys individually and put them together.
One thing I want to say with the commentary team, please stop saying you didn't get all of it. When somebody botches, I hate that. I really do not like that saying from commentary, whether it be Corey Graves or whoever. No more saying you didn't get all of it. Think of some other creative way to describe what you just saw on the screen. Put it in the form of the fact that it's a sporting affair and sometimes people make mistakes or something like that. Because, like, you know, people make mistakes in hockey. People make mistakes in basketball. Sell it as that, happens. Right? Don't be trying to sell it as, oh, you didn't get all of it, you know? Like, that's kind of a really bad way to put it. Anyways, just a little pet peeve of mine.
So Daniel picks up the win, which I'm not 100%...
It's good for the story.
It makes
the
sense,
fact that it's over Almas without a dirty ending or something like that is kind of...
without like kind of an iffy ending. Whatever, it's fine. He won with the knee too, so Almas didn't tap it. Like, it was whatever. It was fine.
Just I'll say in this right now, just because of how the show ended, I believe in this opening segment the heat should have been put on Almas in some way.
I think so as well.
I think a win with some sort of distraction from Brian on the Teletron would have been much better, especially like, you know, if you're going to end the show with Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan locking the yes lock on Zelina Vega and Cien Almas, right? Like, you have to put the heat back on the characters if you're going to take it away, and they got -2 heat that week, so, you know, that's kind of a problem.
Side note, Brie murdered Zelina Vega.
Oh, yeah.
In this segment with that knee to the face. I'm pretty sure that she murdered her. Like, that wasn't the same Zelina Vega at the end of the show. It was her twin. Because she murdered her.
Kenny Omega would be proud with that knee.
It looked stiff. Like, it looked like it was a real knee.
I think she caught her. I really do think she caught her
a little bit, and it was I think that they're trying to get Brie to do a little too much when she hasn't wrestled in 6 months.
Oh yeah, like they're putting her right back in the spotlight.
She hadn't wrestled in 2 years or whatever it was, so I think she's getting pushed to do a little too much, but whatever, it's fine. Selena was obviously fine. She came out at the end, or that was her clone. But regardless,
we'll go with clone. We'll go with clone.
Yeah. The next segment, we get the Becky and Charlotte interview, the separate screen interview because they can't be in the same room thing. Classic WWE.
I love when they do that. I love when they do that because that makes sense, right? If you have a heated rivalry, why are you doing an interview in the ring, right? Put it backstage where they can't hit each other in separate rooms, right? If that's what you want to keep together, that makes perfect sense, right?
I loved how it progressed, how like Charlotte was kind of being respectful-ish and being nice at the beginning, and then by the end of it, both of them were just being heated and kind of catty and just like aggressive toward each other. And I was like, I'm a fan. And also, Becky is so over.
She is so incredibly over, and I love the fact that they took just a tiny back step from the heel turn, and now they're letting fans cheer or boo for who they want, right?
Exactly.
I think that is the way to build this feud.
It was a good segment. I enjoyed it. Anything you want to add to it?
I loved the way that Becky Lynch just sat there and waited for Charlotte to be done her first little thing and just said, "You done, Queen?" I mean, that is just...
That was great.
That is just amazing. Queen? Like, she's so good on the microphone. I didn't think she had this ability to sound like a legitimate, like, you know, heel, but also get cheered. I didn't see that in Becky Lynch. I always thought she was going to be the straight fire underdog babyface, right? Not this fired up, almost Daniel Bryan type of fire in her. Like, I didn't ever see that in Becky Lynch, so she is really surprising me with what she can bring to the table, and the shift in character is really what straight fire should look like, not what she had before.
And like I said, I like how this is now becoming not about faces and heels. This rivalry is becoming about the title. Individual people.
I was going to say, it's about the title.
Wanting that title. So they hate each other. They want the title, and you forget about the fact of the heel or babyface, right? It's like a legitimate sports team battle for the championship. You can have the two most beloved teams in sports, because that's the thing in hockey. In the Stanley Cup final, you don't pick a heel and a face team. You just have two teams that want the title that might hate each other.
Exactly. Look at Vegas versus Washington. I mean, I don't know a single soul that was booing for either of those teams. I think a lot of people were just saying, hey, I like both of them. You know, it'd be a cool story for Ovi to win, or it'd be a cool story for Vegas to win. Same thing for this one, right?
Do you want to take the next segment since it was a prediction that you got right? With, Naomi Peyton Royce?
I'm pretty happy with this one. Like the match itself was just very, very quick.
Super quick.
The right thing happened. I loved the fact that Naomi did the roll up, and you can even watch this. Like I uploaded this on the channel, and it was just a clip of me calling this entire finish earlier on in the night. Basically, just said that Naomi was going to get a quick win with like a roll up over Peyton Royce. The Iconics were going to beat down Naomi, and here comes the save in Asuka. 100% right, dude. You cannot tell me I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, it was good, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm happy with it.
The match, like I said, was nothing but Asuka returning. It's great to see Asuka come back. She had that fire. And a little thing that I want to drop in here, which was pretty cool, is that Asuka's hair, like half of it, matched Naomi's outfit. And so I think we're probably going to see this duo continue on together for a little bit, at least against the Iconics going into, I think, Evolution. They have the match set up, right?
I can only assume that they're building toward a tag team, like women's tag team.
I would think so, right? Naomi, Asuka, Iconics, Riot Squad, Bayley, Sasha. You know, like there's who else is in
Alexa,
there? Mandy Rose
Foxy.
and Rose and Sonya Deville. Like there's a lot of duos right now in the women's division. And here's the thing. Here's the thing as well. WWE, if they are building up,
if they're coming back.
If WWE is in fact building up to a tag team division in the women's division, then they've done it the right way because we have teams ready right now. It's not like a title would just be introduced and you'd have two teams fight over the title and then have no challengers after. Like right now, we are at a spot where we could put tag team titles in the division and it would fit seamlessly.
Exactly, because they're doing it well here.
Yeah, they've spent the last 6 months building it up, and I think it's done a good job.
I'm getting really hyped for this Randy versus Jeff match, by the way, at Hell in a Cell. These promos that they had were great.
They were well done.
They were really nice. I thought that they were really well done from a production standpoint. And I'm just getting more and more excited about what we can get. Jeff has never been in the Hell in a Cell. How, like, you know, when they say Hell in a Cell is the most dangerous fixture in wrestling, whatever, and then they say the same thing about the Elimination Chamber and about tons of different things. But the Hell in a Cell has always been like this. You don't enter the cell and leave the same.
Yeah, well, it's the devil's playground, right? Like
exactly. Yeah. I'm excited because out of all of the Hell in a Cell matches that we have, this match is the one that feels like it's going to show what the cell can do.
Yeah, I think so, and I like that it's a non-title match. It's a non-title match. It's literally rivalry match. Yeah, it's just a rivalry match,
and I love rivalry matches.
Yep, and the right thing was done this week to leave them off TV. I think we've been seeing a lot of them on TV together, so it was a good thing this week to leave them off and to just do a video package. I think that was the right move there. It was very well done for sure, and I'm excited for it as well.
I think we skip this next little segment and go right to the Joe and stuff.
Oh, Wendy!
We'll just cover all the Miz stuff at the end.
Sure, sounds good. But Wendy!
Quote of the week. As good as Ya Done Queen was and everything else was and sawed off duck butt, as good as all those were, Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe.
Yep. So simple. I loved it. Like the fact that he called himself Uncle Joe, because like if you know the history, you're like, technically that's probably what AJ's like kids
probably call him,
almost.
Oh yeah, because they go way back, right?
Yeah, they go back like 20 years, man, nearly. Like shit, like they've been around together.
Yeah.
So I just loved that.
The intensity in this, the intensity between these two right now, it's reached another level, and it's something I don't think we've seen in a WWE title picture for a long time. An actual personal feud, right? A feud that has turned personal because of the championship. And I think Joe is obviously the best at making any feud feel personal. He's very good at doing that. But he's taken it onto another level with AJ Styles. And Styles, though, has now a very intriguing character because he's not in control.
No, which he's used to being in control.
Exactly.
So I'm a big fan. Styles came out. They had a good little brawl, broken up by referees, which oddly enough, that was what broke them up. Whereas it took the entire Raw locker room to break up the Shield and the Pack.
Yes,
whatever.
I understand that.
That's a slight thing that I'm like, if these two dudes hate each other as much as they do, it makes sense that Joe's not going through to fight. He doesn't care. He's just enjoying messing with AJ. But it should take like 10 dudes holding AJ back.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I do agree on that.
But it got me excited for that match. I really hope that that's another one that I hope that we get in a cell, but it feels like it's going to get crowded with the cell.
I'm thinking that is the match that we don't get inside the cell, because I believe there's a rematch set between them for it's either at the Super Showdown or it's reverse something like I'm not sure, something going weird there. I
think that match should be like a no holds barred though.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be just a regular match.
Yep, I agree. Shouldn't be a regular match.
Then we move into we'll skip this little segment. We'll go over all the Truth and Miz stuff at the end. Uso Sanity Rusev Day. Triple threat tag.
Right team won.
Final, I think so as well. And the way that they won was really good. Throughout that match, it was the little things. Throughout that match, Rusev Day picked up the victory here. Picking up the victory over Sanity, was it? Or
Sanity and the Usos. I believe they pinned the Usos.
Took the pin. Yeah. One of the Usos took the pin on a match cut kick or whatever after Aiden English. No, it was Sanity.
Was it Sanity? Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It was Eric Young. Yep,
he tried to put his feet up on the ropes when he rolled up Rusev, and then Aiden English smacked them off, and Eric Young got up and looked at Aiden English, and Aiden English was like, he's my friend, or whatever he said, and then Machka kicked to take the win. The thing that I really liked with that, and also throughout the entire match, is I believe Aiden English saved the match like 3 or 4 times. That's what I was going to say. That's the little things that they did throughout the match. Aiden English stopped, broke up a pin, or broke up this, or saved something, did something to save Rusev like 18,000 times. It felt like, and it was not noticeable unless you were like very attentive, but it was little things. It was the little things. Little things, exactly. I was happy with it, the way they did it, and the way that Aiden English is like, now has a legitimate purpose to say, you couldn't have got here if it wasn't for me, because I saved us 6 times, right? Like, yeah, they won. All the teams looked great. Like it was a solid, good, hell of a match, I thought. Yeah, it was a really good match. The right team won. I'm excited for Rusev Day versus The Bar next week, and whomever wins that moving forward. And again, you know that I'm not a big, like in my mind, I don't think that it always has to be heel versus face for the championship. Yeah. So I would like to see Rusev Day move on to a New Day match, just for the sake of it. That's a team that, like, we've seen The Bar versus New Day. We've seen Usos versus New Day. Let's see Rusev Day versus New Day and see how well of a match they can put on. I'm a firm believer in the fact that if WWE had just spent the past month and a bit breaking up Rusev Day or teasing a breakup and then getting them back together, I don't think it was for nothing. I think there's a reason why they did that, and I truly think that the rise of Rusev Day versus New Day is going to be the match. I truly think that. Yeah. And just the promos, even just the aspect that they could be like, and then before they say Rusev Day, Rusev Day, just like that stuff is going to be fun. And then we move into the final segment, Miz versus R-Truth. So let's go back a little bit in the night. Yep, the overarching segment. R-Truth has been killing it. Also, so obviously we open up with Daniel and Brie. Miz and Maurice weren't at the arena because they went out for dinner. There was a little video package that was like, we're out for dinner at this location. Italian. And then Brie and Daniel were going to get food at the same restaurant just to try and jump them and beat the piss out of them. And then at that point, Miz and Maurice had come back, talked to Paige. Paige was like, you're in a match tonight. They said the food was crap. Yeah. And they chirped Detroit. That's where they were. Was it Detroit? Yeah. Detroit, yep. So they're like chirping Detroit, and they're like, food's terrible. And then they moved on to now R-Truth looking for Carmella still. And he finds Maurice and starts calling her Carmella, which was great. And Miz is like, never talk to my wife again. Just like a little thing.
And he also, another little thing between them in that segment is the fact that Miz and R-Truth have a history.
Yeah,
and I love that they touched on it. Like they touched on it. It was awesome.
I love that they touched on it. I love that he goes, when was the last time you and I tagged together? And then he's like, 8 years? And then he's like, yeah, about 8 years ago. And that's the last relevant thing you did. And immediately you're like, well, now this is the main event match. This is the match that
we have a reason for this match, that why we're going to get this match.
So then we get R-Truth going through the background a little bit later, trying to find Carmella again. And Ty Dillinger's now with him again. Ty's doing a good job in this.
He's great in the comedy role.
Right. He's like, right there. So Carmella's just standing there. Truth taps her, goes, have you seen Carmella? And she's like, oh my God, Truth, I am Carmella. What do you want? Stop, like, leave me alone. And then he's like, well, the other Carmella, Mrs. Carmella, called you the Staten Island trash. Like, will you come out to the ring with me and support me? And this was also kind of a little tease of just like a promo-ish thing for the Mixed Match Challenge, which I'm absolutely super excited about.
I'm going to be watching it for sure.
And then we got Miz versus R-Truth.
And R-Truth, I was going to say, R-Truth showed that he can still go. Like, this man,
he still goes, man. That dude
he's so good. And the fact that I don't know how this man has been able to, like, I think he's 46 years old, still at 46 years old, be able to jump as high in the air as he does and land in, like, the weird splits things that he does. Yeah. Like, how? How?
I don't know, man. So, and he picks up the win.
Yeah,
because of a little distraction thing and
from Daniel Bryan. But like, you know what, that was honestly, I think that's the right call, because now you're gonna have Truth say, well, I picked up a win over the Miz. Where's my title opportunity? Do I still have to beat Carmella? Right, like things like that. I hope they continue to play off that, and I especially hope that, like, they will be, because obviously R-Truth and Carmella being in the Mixed Match Challenge. But I really hope they keep this pairing together for a little bit and see what happens.
And Ty Dillinger in there, I like the aspect of Ty Dillinger. I wouldn't even mind if they become like, because it kind of felt like Carmella might be headed toward a little bit of a face turn.
I was going to say, I think she's going to be almost like an Uso face turn where it just happens organically. She's been
and
so good recently.
Like that, like the aspect that she came out with Truth and he was going, what's up? And then she's saying, what's up? Like, it was just fun.
That's how you make an entrance.
Daniel and Brie come out and attack, and Selena Vega and Almas come out to save Miz and Maurice again,
which is nice little storytelling. You know, Almas is 0-2 against Bryan. He's not happy, right? So of course he's going to go after Daniel Bryan. Well, he might not be 0-2. I think the first match ended in DQ, right?
Yeah, but, like, it was a DQ, which is technically Bryan, but he doesn't care about that because it was DQ.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
So then they're both held in a double yes lock, not double, like, but Brie has Vega in a yes lock while Daniel has Almas in a yes lock, and Miz and Maurice just can't get back in the ring because they're too scared to, because that's their characters. Good finishing segment. I enjoyed it.
What do you think? Would we get maybe a Zelina Vega and Almas versus Miz and Maurice match, because maybe Miz and Maurice are going to be hated by Almas because they didn't come to save him or something like that?
Yeah, but then to get that, you almost have to get one of them to turn face.
I'm not sure if you'd have to, though, in that scenario, because Vega and Almas would have every gripe because they've came out to save Miz and Maurice like on 2 occasions now, right?
Yes.
And to fight their battles for them, and now they won't reciprocate. So if I were Zelina Vega and Almas, and this is just the way that I would write the show, I'd be a little ticked off.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I see how it could build to that. I think that there needs to be more building.
Absolutely, yep.
For sure, but I wouldn't be opposed to it, obviously. And that was SmackDown and Raw. We're just over the 1 hour mark. Did you want to touch on NXT?
No. And the one thing I'll say between NXT, just a quick little the favorite thing of that match obviously was Johnny Gargano versus Velveteen Dream. Gargano is incredible. Dream is out of this world, and the two put on a spectacular match. I think that's 3 or 4 weeks in a row where the main event of NXT is been incredible. Once again, another 20-minute match given time. These guys put on a show, and Johnny Gargano leaves being booed by the crowd, and it felt like it was almost Johnny Gargano's final send-off from NXT. Half the crowd said, "Johnny, failure."
No, don't tell me. Don't tell you
who won.
Don't tell me who won. Okay, tell me who won. I'm gonna watch it.
All right.
But
well, who would? Yeah, Velveteen Dream won. I was gonna say who would you guess? But yeah, Velveteen Dream picked up the win.
For Velveteen.
After that, Johnny Gargano, he kind of snapped. He was about to hit the Tommaso Ciampa DDT onto Velveteen Dream from the ring apron to the floor, and he took a pause. He wouldn't do it. He felt that he was becoming too much like Tommaso Ciampa. Then he gets in the ring, snaps even more. He pulls the knee pad down as Velveteen Dream is taunting Johnny Wrestling, calling him Johnny Failure. Johnny Gargano goes for the knee. Velveteen Dream counters it into that rolling senton. 1, 2, 3. It was such a good finish, man.
Great.
So good. You're going to lose your mind when you watch this match. But yeah, it was a really good match. And honestly, Johnny Gargano might be done in NXT. The fact that he had dueling chants between Johnny Wrestling and Johnny Failure was really cool. Looks like a broken man.
It was almost like a "Let's go Cena sucks."
It's exactly like that. That's exactly what it was like. It's crazy.
That's cool.
And he walked out to that, no music playing. Very, very cool end to NXT.
Really?
Yep. Also, just another quick little note there from NXT. I'm really excited about I think they're called the Forgotten Sons. It's a new faction that has debuted in NXT. Wesley Blake, Steve Cutler, and I forget the third guy's name, but they look like they have a cool gimmick, and I'm excited to see where that goes.
Is Wesley Blake of Blake and Murphy?
That's exactly who it is. He looks like a completely different man. Yep.
I like that, and I like the name of Forgotten Sons because he was a pretty big deal about 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, he was NXT Tag Team Champions with Buddy Murphy.
So he's a Forgotten Son. I like that. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Kind of cool. Really, really quick, though, for this week, what's your match of the week? We don't have too many to pick from.
Yeah, not about the 8 matches that we had. Uso Sanity and Rusev Day, triple threat tag. I just enjoyed it. I love what each of these teams do in the ring. I love the athleticism that all of them have and the capability. And I like the storytelling of Aiden English coming helping out a lot. It was a real nice match. It wasn't standoutish. Like I wouldn't be like, you need to watch this match. Yeah. But it was the best of not a great week of matches.
Yeah, and if I had to say a match, if I include that in NXT, then it would definitely be the Johnny Gargano versus Velveteen Dream as the match of the week. Yeah. But just from Raw and SmackDown this week, I have to say Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman. Well, it was a quick match, like we said. It was enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. How about your MVP of the week?
The Pack. Easy pick for me.
Easy.
Ziggs and Drew, new tag team champions. And Braun looking tough as hell. The fact that all 3 of them talked in both the segments that they were in where they had the opportunity to talk, they all made they look good, they sound good. I like what's happening, and I'm excited about this stable.
Yep, me too, very much so. And if you didn't have them pick, I'd be picking them. But I'm going to go with the star from SmackDown, R-Truth. His comedic timing. His comedic timing was awesome this week. His backstage segments were entertaining as hell. Him and Ty Dillinger and Carmella are something that I want to see more of. So absolutely, I'm going to go R-Truth.
Yeah. That one little thing that he said when R-Truth is like, "What are you doing, man?" Or Ty said, "What are you doing, man?" And R-Truth goes, "I'm teaching you." And then he's like, "What could you teach me?" And R-Truth just goes, "How to get in the main event of SmackDown Live." And you see
and I love the dog at the end. The dog at the end. How to get in the main event of SmackDown Live, dog. And woo at the end.
You see Ty's face just go like, oh my God, he's telling the truth here because he is in the main event now. Mm-hmm. Wow, this is okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good week. It was a fun week. Lots of segments, segment heavy. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. We can't complain that there's too many matches of certain things, and then we can't complain that there's too many segments. So I just like the fact that it was fun and we got some story out of it.
Honestly, as long as when I watch Monday Night Raw or Tuesday Night SmackDown, if I'm not falling asleep during it, if I'm at least entertained by half the show, then it's a good show to me. You know what? I enjoyed this week. You said it best. It was a fun week. You got one more thing?
Oh, I was just gonna say one more thing. Just shout out again to the mixed match challenge. I'm really excited for it. I'm a little confused why some of the teams are the exact same or why they didn't expand. Like it might just be me knowing certain couples outside of that are in WWE, like Ty and Peyton Royce, for instance. I was like, that would be a fun team.
Yeah,
like it gives Ty something to do. Peyton Royce can do, and like Almas and Vega again would be another one.
That was a team that I thought should have been in there. Yeah, there's a few teams that are kind of like, okay, I wonder why. But I also understand if you're going to have Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox lose in the first round, then you maybe don't want Andrade Cien Almas and Vega being in that position, right?
Yeah, well, I was confused. Like, why do you need to have the aspect of like Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss again? I get that they got a lot of attention last time,
and that's just to bring viewership back to the product, right? It's a familiar team that people want to see, so of course they're going to bring at least a couple of familiar teams back.
I'm excited for the Finn and Bayley team.
Yep, I'm excited for that, and I'm also excited for Charlotte and AJ Styles to be together. That's a heavy team.
Yeah, let's just take our most talented female wrestler and our most talented male wrestler and put them on a team together.
It's like when they did, who was it? Finn Balor and was it Samoa Joe in the Dusty Rhodes Classic? I think at the time in NXT. I think that was the team they did.
I think so. So
yeah, like that's it's the right direction for some of them for sure. But
big things moving forward.
Yep, big things moving forward. That's gonna wrap us up. Yeah, that's gonna wrap us up for this week. Very fun week, like we said. You guys can follow us on our social media. Bob, where can they find you?
Twitter, Bob's Wrasslin. I'm also on Instagram, Bob's Wrasslin, BOBSRASSLIN.
And then you can also follow me on Twitter at Conman167. If you guys are a fan of the show or the live streams or anything like that, please check out the merchandise store as we've got some cool Bob merch coming here very, very shortly.
Ooh, yeah.
The Bob logo has been made, and it's just a matter of days before we get that crap on a hat. It's going to be cool.
Yeah. And keep watching videos on Conman167 YouTube channel. Keep listening to this on Conman167 YouTube channel. If you're a Patreon supporter, you can get it a day early. We release it Fridays except for Patreon Thursdays. And SoundCloud as well for Conman167.
And if you follow me on SoundCloud, you can get the podcast a whole hour early as well for free. So all you got to do is follow it on SoundCloud at Conman167. Everything you need to know down in the description below. But that's going to do it for here this week. I've been Con.
I've been Bob.
And that was...
And this...
Oh, no, you got this. Let's try that again.
And now, all right, go ahead.
Oh, man, the lovely, lovely production value of this show is amazing. Here we go. I've been Con.
And I've been Bob. And that was the Con and Bob podcast.